We talked about it, and after a detailed comparison by the technical department and accurate identification by ballistic experts, the firearm is identified as Type 81 automatic rifle. Based on this physical evidence, the cases that occurred in Xinjiang, Beijing, and Xiushui, Hebei can be connected. Shortly after the connection of the cases, an important clue also entered the police's view. The leader and platoon leader of the Armed Police 6th Squad reflected a situation. A restored armed police officer in the 6th Squad said that in July this year, a prisoner he had supervised came to him asking for bullets. The person asking for bullets was a released offender from Beijing named Yao Zaidan. He claimed he was going back to hunt wild boars and temporarily didn't give him any. The investigators immediately rushed there and found that the released offender from Beijing had returned to Xinjiang to ask for bullets to hunt wild boars. Where would there be wild boars in Beijing? The investigators promptly verified the matter. On September 4, the investigator found retired armed police Lu Baofu, who mentioned a similar incident, recalling that in July this year, 2 prisoners I had supervised came to me. One was named by Baoshan, and, well, I can't remember the name of the other one. Yeah, a friend told them that by Baoshan, whose address was known, came to me asking for bullets, saying he was going back to hunt wild boars. Well, at that time, I was puzzled because there are no wild boars in Beijing, so I didn't give him any. The investigator quickly found the friend mentioned by Lu Baofu, and that person said that in July this year, by Baoshan, who was serving time with me at Xian prison, and another person named Wu Ziming, came to me asking for Lu Baofu's address. Bai Baoshan is from Beijing, and Wu Ziming is from the 147th Regiment. The investigator immediately drove to the Administration Bureau of Shihetsual Prison, checked the files of Bai Baoshan and Wu Ziming. Bai Baoshan is 1.80 meters tall, from Shijingshan, Beijing, which is related to the Beijing case. Wu Ziming's files are not in the Prison Administration Bureau. On the same day, the investigator came to the 147th Regiment Police Station, intending to find Wu Ziming's address through household registration. Unexpectedly, they met Inspector Wei Jiangyan from Masha Bay Public Security Bureau here. Wei Jiangyan learned that Wu Ziming's family had 2 people from Beijing, a man and a woman. The man had served a sentence with Wu Ziming and was now doing business here. On the morning of September 3, Wei Jiangyan decided to bring the photos of the unidentified body found near Tianqi on the afternoon of August 31, let Wu Ziming's cousin and father identify them. On the morning of September 5, Wei Jiangyan and others found Wu Ziming's brother Wu Zibing in the market. In the course of chatting with Jiangyan and Wu Zibing, after some back and forth, opened up and mentioned that his brother had passed away. He didn't say where he went or bring any clothes. In the conversation, he revealed a sense of sadness. Seeing that the conditions were ripe, Wei Jiangyan showed him the photos of the unidentified body and observed his expression while doing so. After looking silently for a while, Wu Zibing's tears gradually flowed, and then his body softened, sitting down. After a while, Wu Zibing looked up at Wei Jiangyan and said that this person is Wu Ziming, and there is a blue notebook at his home. Yes, I remembered. There is their address in it. Wei Jiangyan and others immediately went to Wu Ziming's home. Wei Jiangyan explained the situation and showed the photos of the body to Wu Ziming's father. With reading glasses on, the father looked at it for a long time, tears swirling in his eyes. In the end, the father took out the notebook and handed it to Wei Jiangyan. Flipping to the middle page, there were 2 lines of crooked writing, which were the addresses of Bai Baoshan and Xie Zongfen in Beijing and Sichuan. Subsequently, they went to the house rented by Bai Baoshan and Xie Zongfen in Shihetsuo. Wei Jiangyan and others cautiously collected an old canvas, carefully collected more than 20 items such as water cups and rose wine bottles left in the house for fingerprint identification in the future. Then, they sealed off the house. At this time, they finally called the headquarters to report that the suspects had been basically identified. The police immediately announced that Baoshan and Wu Ziming had become the #1 clue in the 97 series gun case, known as the 9.5 Special Line. The current task is to mobilize all police forces, fully launch operations around the 9.5 Special Line, and strive to quickly control and arrest the suspects by Baoshan and Xie. During the capture process, it is important to find recent photos of Baoshan and Xie as soon as possible. Urumqi must tighten control over highways, railways, and flights. At the same time, an inquiry notice was sent to Beijing. If Baoshan returns to Beijing, please cooperate with Beijing, and the Ministry of Public Security will coordinate with the Sichuan Provincial Public Security Department if Xie does not return to Beijing and goes back to Sichuan. The investigation in Xinjiang made a breakthrough, and Baoshan was identified as a major criminal suspect. This clue was reported to the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau by the Xinjiang Police in the name of the Shihetsuo Criminal Police Brigade. After receiving the clues provided by Xinjiang, the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau immediately took action. The head of the Special Task Force of the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau, Fu Zhanhua, notified the Shijingshan Branch Criminal Police Team. According to the clues provided by Xinjiang, they immediately dispatched to quickly arrest Baoshan. The Shijingshan Criminal Police Team first contacted the police station, learned about the surrounding situation, and found that Baoshan's household registration had just been approved and had not been finalized. The patrolman had visited before and was very familiar with Baoshan's home. He provided the addresses of Baoshan's residences in Baixinen and Mashiku. The investigators from Beijing decided to use Baoshan's household registration issue as an opportunity to take him to the police station and arrest him at the right time. At 7 p.m. that evening, 4 members of the Criminal Police Brigade and local police officers arrived at Baoshan's residence in Baixinen. Baoshan was not at home, so they went to Mashiku. Baoshan's mother knocked on the door of the room in Mashiku, and Baoshan opened the door himself. Obviously, he was unguarded. The police told him that his household registration had been approved on August 25, and he needed to go to the police station to fill out some forms. Baoshan, upon seeing the 4 police officers, immediately understood the situation. Baoshan agreed and said, "All right, wait for me to put on some clothes." As he turned to open the cabinet door, a gun was placed in the drawer of the cabinet, with bullets already loaded. At this moment, Bai's mother entered the room. Baoshan quickly gave up the idea of resisting, put on his clothes, and told his mother, "It's nothing, my household registration has been approved, the police want me to go with them to handle it, I'll be back in a while." Then he followed the police onto the car. During the interrogation that night, Baoshan's attitude was very stubborn. In the early morning of September 6, the Beijing police conducted a public search of Baoshan's 2 residences. In the wardrobe drawer in Mashiku, they found a Type 54 pistol with serial number 653-8589, which was the firearm used by the murdered police officer Jiang Yubin in Shihetsuo when he was kidnapped. They also found 1.13 million renminbi. At this point, the main incriminating evidence was in hand, and Baoshan's denial became meaningless. On the morning of September 6, Baoshan began to confess to his crimes, including the time, location, and process of each crime, as well as the location and topographical features of the murder and firearm burial sites. He remembered every detail of all 15 cases, including the 5 cases not known to the police. On the afternoon of September 2, Xie took a plane for the first time, and everything was novel to him. That evening, he returned home by car, warmly entertained, dressed neatly, brought gifts for his family, and the family gathered happily. On September 3, Xie began to settle debts, and the next day, he went shopping with his family, bringing back a lot of packages. In just 2 days, he spent 30,000 renminbi, leaving 77,000 renminbi. On the afternoon of September 6, While having dinner at home, military and police personnel from the Joint Public Security Bureau came to inquire if he was Xie Zongfen. After confirming, Xie Zongfen was quickly handcuffed. She had only stayed in her hometown for 3 days before going to jail. Being arrested, this foolish woman still dared not reveal Baoshan's true situation. In fact, she should be thankful to the Public Security Bureau. Being captured ended her involvement in the crimes of Baoshan and saved her disappearing life. For her, spending a few years in prison is much better than lying in a pit in the mountains. This is her big chance. During the interrogation, Xie Zongfen admitted to knowing Baoshan, acknowledging her relationship with him, and confirming that they went to Xinjiang together. However, she concealed all of Baoshan's crimes. She claimed they went to Xinjiang to do cotton business, initially staying at Wu Ziming's home in the 147th Regiment. Later, she rented a house from Lu Shofan, planning to bring Baoshan there in the second half of the year. Due to a dispute, they returned to Beijing ahead of schedule, and she returned to Sichuan alone. When questioned by the police about what Baoshan did in Xinjiang, she said Baoshan had frequent contact with Wu Ziming in Xinjiang. The two bought motorcycles, often went out, and sometimes didn't return all night. She claimed to know nothing about their specific activities. When asked if she had never inquired about them, Xie Zongfen answered that she had asked Baoshan, but he slapped her, saying she shouldn't ask about those things. The County Public Security Bureau found 77,000 renminbi as the deposit from Xie Zongfen's home. Xie Zongfen claimed that this was the money Baoshan left for her to do business when he returned from Beijing. She downplayed the amount to 80,000 renminbi and falsely claimed to have only spent 2,000 renminbi. On September 7, Zhao Bin and Song Shuyong from the Beijing Public Security Bureau arrived in Sichuan. On that day, they interrogated Xie Zongfen in the county detention center. This time, under immense pressure, Xie Zongfen confessed to all the facts, including Su Sui taking the gun, De Shengmen withdrawing money, killing Wu Ziming on the Tianqi mountain, and the detailed process of returning to Beijing with firearms and money from Urumqi. The 11,000 renminbi deposit given by Baoshan could no longer be concealed. On September 9, Xie Zongfen was extradited to Beijing, causing a sensation in the Central Party, the State Council, and the Central Military Commission. It shocked the economy of Beijing, Hebei, and Xinjiang. The main suspects in the new series of gun cases were all captured. After Baoshan's arrest, he believed that Xie Zongfen must have had trouble and betrayed him, otherwise, the police could not have found his home. However, after being imprisoned, he did not blame Xie Zongfen. Whether it was during the preliminary trial at the Public Security Bureau or in court, he confessed to his crimes without hesitation. But when it came to Xie, he hesitated. Later, he said, "Take what I said as the truth. I can't remember. I'm afraid of harming her if I say it wrong." Talking about the moment of his arrest, he said, "I originally wanted to shoot them with the gun, but my mother came in. I couldn't shoot anymore. I couldn't bear to kill in front of my mother. I couldn't do it. I committed such a heinous crime, and I have the right to say a few words here. The cost is too high, exchanged for the blood of how many people? Today, I apologize to the innocent victims, hoping that my example can prevent others from becoming harmful to society." He continued, "I committed a death penalty. I had considered it when I robbed the gun, wanting to leave a few words for posterity. Those who have committed crimes should not emulate me. Accept the country's transformation well. My crimes are mainly because I did not accept the judgment of the previous crime." In March 1998, the Intermediate People's Court of Urumqi, Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, sentenced Baoshan to death for intentional homicide, robbery of firearms and ammunition, robbery, and theft of firearms and ammunition, depriving him of political rights for life. Xie Zongfen, the accomplice, was convicted of robbery and sentenced to 12 years in prison. In April 1998, the Intermediate People's Court of Urumqi verified by Baoshan's identity and executed him by firing squad. A crisp gunshot ended by Baoshan's wicked life. On April 26, 2005, Xie Zongfen was released early after 3 reductions of sentence, which happened to be her 48th birthday.